What we do here is go back.
So I'm beginning the i20 review with the venue. Why? Well, because a lot of people have been saying that, look, does anybody really want a premium hatchback anymore when you have the subcompact SUVs that offer so much more? Well, that's where Hyundai says it's a very different kind of buyer who wants this and a different buyer who wants an SUV. And the SUV buyer who's buying the entry level, the smallest SUVs, the subcompacts, well, they're kind of compromising in a sense because they just want an SUV and they may be financially constrained. But with a premium hatchback, this car sits at the top of the hatchback pyramid, so it gives you a lot more, and which is why it becomes really relevant. It has, of course, been a bestseller for Hyundai. In the segment also now, it has a unique advantage because along with the Altros, it's now the only diesel on offer. And remember that the mighty Baleno is only offered in petrol now. So we'll talk about every aspect about this car. We're going to break it up. Before I tell you about the breakup though, let me tell you about this. Yes, we're trying something new and different with the i20. So for the first time, everything you see from now on will be shot on this phone. It is, of course, the new iPhone 12 Pro. So with me, dressed in metallic copper, yes, believe it or not, that's the name of this color, is the diesel version. So all the guys are here so we can cover all the aspects of the new i20.
That's right. I will be talking about the 1 litre turbocharged petrol engine with the dual clutch transmission.
The new i20 comes with a premium cabin and I am here to tell you all about it.
And those who are wondering about the tech and connectivity features of the i20, I'm going to have that covered.
So guys, lots of jobs to do. Let's get started. Now the new i20 is a little bit bigger than the last one, but in terms of proportions, it's very different. So when you look at it, you might actually think, hey, it looks smaller. And that's because, like I said, things are disproportionate a little bit. You've got this massive grille up front. It's all very modern and nice. I like the edgy styling. So different pattern on different engine types. I like the one here on the diesel. The 1.2 petrol gets the same. Turbo has a different one, like I said, but all black, thankfully, no chrome. Very edgy styling in terms of the metal as well as the light unit. But like I said in our first look video, you don't get the European style, much sexier daytime running light. I don't know why that is, but if you want more details on the styling, please watch our first look video in any case. You also have the two-tone option, remember, there's a sunroof, all of that. I wish we also had the sexier alloy wheels, maybe the all black ones, and maybe glossy black door handles or just body colored. Way too much chrome. I think it kind of ruins the nice modern look of the car on the side. At the back, also nice and modern, but that's where that whole proportion conversation comes right back to the fore, because look at this. All these elements, they're very different, but it kind of makes the car look like it's squatting downwards. It makes it look a little bit shorter, even though it isn't actually. And especially this chrome element, which angles downwards, really brings your attention to it. If it had been finished in reflective red or just black, I like this glossy black element, like the Tata Altros. That's nice, it's modern, it's different. But yeah, to me that kind of ruins everything. But nice modern taillight, the whole Z motif in it is going to get a lot of attention. And this is really sexy, the way that the fuel hatch has been integrated into that pattern. That's a nice touch.
But let's take a look inside the cabin.
Completely new design for the cabin and lots of good bits, but the one thing that is irritating me a lot is this. The AC vents, well, they kind of continue into this pattern onto the dash. Some people might like it. It might seem modern, it might seem contemporary. It's great for Europe, but here in India, can you imagine all the dust that's going to go and sit in there? Cleaning that is going to be a nightmare. But that aside, like I said, there is a lot more in the cabin, and Shams will tell you all about it.
One of the highlights in the new i20, the steering wheel taken from the Creta makes it more premium, good quality as well, lot of controls, and look at this. The steering wheel can be adjusted in multiple ways, tilt as well as telescopic. What I also like is the metal finish on these inside door handles, and they are standard on all variants of the car, and also this very nicely placed holder for my smartphone.
And of course, there's the sunroof, which will be a big crowd puller.
Like I said, all the cool stuff happens actually inside the cabin of the i20. You get this huge 10.25-inch display, which is basically being transplanted from the Creta. It is big, wide, and pretty responsive, though it could have been a little better. It offers a laundry list of features. You get a 7-speaker Bose sound system, which is really premium. It sounds great. It's a little mid-heavy, but you even get a woofer in the boot. That is really, really cool. And like all modern connected cars, you also get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support. Talking about connected cars, this is the first car of its kind in its segment to get a full smart connected car platform, which is Hyundai's Blue Link. That means you can geofence the car, you can remotely unlock it, you can turn it on, you can turn on the AC remotely, you can even get access to a smart SOS service. Kind of cool, really. On top of it, you even get a tire pressure monitor, you get a wireless charger out here, and you get numerous USB ports, 2 on the front and 1 on the back, which even supports fast charging. To say that the i20 comes loaded would be putting it mildly.
There's one aspect which we haven't spoken about yet, and that's cabin space. The wheelbase of the i20 has gone up by 10 millimeters, and rear legroom, according to the company, is up by 88 millimeters.
And that only means that I get a lot of space in the second row of the new i20. And looking at the fact that this is a sub 4 meter car, that is highly, highly commendable.
So now that we have covered all the aspects, let's get out there and drive. Let's talk about the diesel first.
It's a good move from Hyundai's side to transition to this 1.5 diesel engine. It's very refined. It's great on its power output. It's nice and sporty. In fact, it's a really satisfying performance you get from this engine. It's smooth. There is no turbo lag, which is really nice to see. And you get tons of low and mid-range torque, which means city driving, especially gear changing, etc. You won't find that to be a hassle at all. The part that surprises me is that there is no automatic on this diesel. Why? Okay, pricing could have been a factor, but if you can have a diesel automatic on the Kia Sonet, Kia, Hyundai, same family, same engine, you could have just brought that combination onto the i20 too.
Now, Hyundai calls it the most fuel-efficient diesel in the segment because it provides fuel economy of more than 25 kilometers per litre. But the big talking point is the new turbo petrol version.
So as I told you earlier, I'm driving the 1 litre turbo petrol unit, and it's special to come into the i20 because it's just made it so much better. It makes it the most powerful premium hatchback in the country. 118 brake horsepower on offer, and that is pretty good. Now you might think that is it good enough in a car like this? Actually it is. If you set aside the initial acceleration that the car has, that's where it's lacking. You know, that initial part where you need that power, there's a sense of lag there. But once it picks up around 2500 RPM, I think that's where you understand that where that power is being thrown off into the wheels by that 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Now there's also a sports mode in this. You just need to switch the handle to the right and everything changes. The behavior of the car changes, the behavior of the gearbox changes, and it's all pretty much there for the picking. The gear changes happen swiftly. Well, the car feels a bit more active and not lazy. I'm very sure that will have an impact on the fuel efficiency of the car as well, which is around more than 20 kilometers per liter. And you know, that sports mode really, you know, completely changes the way you look at the i20. It is pretty good in sports mode, and yes, you will want to drive it in that mode every single day because it just makes it so much peppy. And all of that said, well, the 1 liter does not disappoint.
It's the ride quality that matters though, right? After Hyundai launched the new generation of the Elantra in India, there has been a strong focus on ride and handling. And you see that focus come to fruition even in the i20. It will deal fantastically well on broken roads. The ride is well balanced and nothing disturbs you inside the cabin. Even the NVH levels are in check, which is really good. Hyundai has gone big on safety features. Now, given that it takes on a 5-star safety rated Altroz, it had to up its game. So while we wait to know how it does in the crash test, Hyundai says that the new gen car is the safest model of the i20 till date.
So 2 airbags are standard across all variants, but this top Astra option I'm driving right now comes with 6 of them. That includes the side as well as curtain airbags. Then the car also gets a tire pressure monitoring system and ISOFIX child seat mounts. And finally, the very useful emergency stop signal feature is there as well on this new car.
The Petrol i20 is launched at an introductory price of 6,80,000 rupees. But when compared to the segment leader, the Maruti Suzuki Baleno, it is more expensive by 1,16,000 rupees for the base variant, while it undercuts the Glanza by 21,000 rupees. It's also more expensive than the Honda Jazz and the Volkswagen Polo. But what about its closest competitor, the Altroz? Both the petrol and diesel variants of the Altroz are less expensive than the i20. The top-end petrol is nearly 1,81,000 rupees cheaper, while the diesel is 1,51,000 rupees more affordable. So yes, the i20 is more expensive than all its rivals, and of course, the prices are introductory, so come January 1, 2021, those too will be revised. Is it good enough then? Well, with all the features it has to offer, it sets itself apart in that department. And that turbo engine is a pocket rocket for sure. And it ticks all the right boxes in the ride and handling department. But is that enough to stay ahead in that segment? We think it's enough to call it the new benchmark.
Big news once again, crash test results, safer cars for India, the global NCAP protocol for testing made in India cars. We had a little bit of a lull because of COVID, but it is back. And you see some startling results again. After having 5-star rated cars in 2019, we are back to seeing some not so great scores. But let's start with the good one. The Kia Seltos scoring 3 stars for adult occupant protection. That is good news, and at least we are seeing that it is a step in the right direction. Don't forget, 3 stars is a good score. It's not a bad score, but could have been a lot better if the structure wasn't rated borderline unstable, which means a very few changes in the chassis and the body shell integration could make that score higher. You have no 3-point seat belts being standard for all 5 passengers. Again, a simple thing that can be implemented and really should be implemented. No ISOFIX being standard for child seat restraints, and no child seat restraint system being even recommended by the manufacturer for this test. So that is startling and alarming. The same car, well, it's not the same car, but the one that sells in the US market, the Seltos in the US, rated 4-star by the NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in the US, which is their NCAP. And that is, of course, for also child protection. So now if you look at the Grand i10 Neos, its cousin, well, this is the new generation of the Grand i10. The previous generation had a 4-star rating in Euro NCAP. We don't have one for this one. But again, the good news here is you got standard dual front airbags that helps it get to that 2-star rating. But again, 2-star rating is average. It's not bad, but it's not great. And again, an unstable structure. So that's got to be the bigger alarming thing, because adding equipment is that much easier. Changing the structure needs a little more work. 3-point seat belts, again missing for all 5 passengers. No ISOFIX being standard, a huge issue also. No child restraint system being recommended by Hyundai either. And you find that overall, though, the child protection is not terrible. And with the child seats in place, the protection to the occupants is not too bad. The Maruti Suzuki Espresso next. This one is the one we were really watching. Huge volumes product, in many ways replaces the Alto for a lot of people. And tier 2, tier 3, please listen up. Only driver side airbag standard straight away takes you to a 0-star rating. So another 0-star rated car from Maruti Suzuki. It is terrible in 2020 to see that happen. Overall, the structure, etc. has improved. Remember, Maruti has worked a lot on trying to make its overall cars, the car's overall safety rather safer across models. So you see a huge improvement between the previous Alto and this one in terms of scoring, but the structure still, or the body shell still rated unstable. You've got poor performance for the child restraint systems, really poor performance there, and no ISOFIX, no 3-point seat belts in all positions here either. So great to see that the impetus for safer cars for India, the program continues. Hopefully it also means that all of you continue to think about how important this is and how you should not disregard any of these things when it comes to buying your new vehicle. You know, leave out the touch screen, but think about the dual airbags for sure. Think about how the structure of the car has been built, and think about scores like this. We need an India NCAP to become standard, don't we? You have to react to it. Please tweet me at Sid Partnkar, or just write a comment right here, and I'd love to know what you think about all of this.